Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I am going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, who just signed Sekou Doumbouya to an NBA contract. I've not really talked about Dr. Doom since he was on the Pistons. He got traded over to the Nets. But to be quite honest, he's gone through quite an interesting journey over the course of the past month or so. But, full disclosure, I absolutely love this signing by the Lakers for so many reasons, which I will get into in 1 second. Before we start talking about, though, guys, if you don't mind leaving a like on the video, 1,000 likes is always the goal. And of course, subscribing to the channel. Also, just a while ago, I did a Zaire Wade Utah Jazz rebuild, so go check out that rebuild. It was really good. I think you really enjoy it, man. But okay, so Sekou Doumbouya. First and foremost, let's talk about his recent journey, man, because, for a, 19-year-old or 20-year-old, he's, one of the youngest dudes in the NBA. He's been through quite a bit, right? I feel like there's a lot of teams that are just kind of, giving up on this guy that, in my opinion, does have, future, at least decent NBA player potential. I don't know if I'll say all-star or superstar anymore, but at least decent NBA player potential, right? If utilized correctly. So, yes, he was originally on the Detroit Pistons. About a month or so ago, he was traded over to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for DeAndre Jordan, and I believe 4 second-round picks. Was ultimately, DeAndre Jordan was bought up by the Pistons, and Sekou played, I believe, 1 or 2 preseason games with the Brooklyn Nets. And if I remember correctly, I think it was 2 games. In one of the games, he was kind of utilized at times as a spot-up shooter, and I was like, here we go again, man. Sekou Doumbouya is not really much of a shooter like that, and Steve Nash just put him in the corner like they did on the Pistons. And then I believe there was a point, it was either the same game or something like that, where he was actually allowed to handle the basketball, attack the basket, and I think he put up 20 points in a preseason game or something like that, man. So yeah, I was a little surprised in the mindset that the Nets got rid of him, but I guess from what people were telling me is that Sekou actually said he wanted to be traded away from the Nets because he wasn't really going to be given a good opportunity there, which is fair to say because obviously they got a lot of veterans on the team. Kevin Durant's not the oldest dude out there where it's to the point of, it's not like KD's gonna be retiring anytime soon, right? So, he wanted to go to a different team where he could actually get some PT. So ultimately was traded over to the Houston Rockets, I believe, for a 2nd-round pick, and he was instantly bought out by them. Once again, I don't think was a bad move because, yes, the Rockets are in a rebuild, but the Rockets also have their guys already, right? You got Garuba and players like that they want to give a chance to, Kenyon Martin Jr. So yeah, just because you're a rebuilding kingdom doesn't mean that you have room for a certain player. So I was a little confused why the Nets or why the Rockets would do that in the first place. I think maybe they got some cash consideration or something out of it. So yeah, so he's been kind of sitting out for a bit. Announced by Shams that he is going to the Lakers on a 2-way deal. And you might first be thinking yo, Crispy, he's not going to get playing time on the Lakers either. And I totally disagree with that because not only is there, some injury history with the Lakers with some of their older players, but also the team is pretty damn old. So, with Kevin Durant, we were kind of saying, yeah, he's not retiring anytime soon, but players like LeBron James or, Trevor Ariza or Carmelo Anthony, those guys are going to be gone out of the NBA pretty dang soon just via retirement. And then the Lakers, who essentially traded away all their draft picks to get Anthony Davis, they got a guy that could be a part of the future, man. This is fantastic. And it's a low risk, high reward type of thing, right? And the idea of Sekou Doumbouya, not only learning under LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but also being on the Lakers and a team that, just seems to know how to win basketball games, historically speaking, I think it's really going to be good for him, man. I think the Lakers are going to like him a lot, and I hope they utilize him correctly. No, I don't expect a lot of playing time next season. I really don't, unless there's some load management going on. But the idea that, this team trade all these draft picks to get Anthony Davis now has, essentially a lottery pick here with Sekou, but also, THT. I think they're really kind of building towards that future a little bit. I think Sekou Doumbouya can be a part of that, man. So yes, I really do like the signing a lot. So yeah, so just for some of you guys out there that don't know too much about Sekou, we do have his 2019, NBA strengths and weakness things pulled up. So we got his strengths: gifted athlete with excellent fluidity and explosiveness, which is why he's a guy that you really want to be, you want to give him the ball in the perimeter. If he's open for the spot on 3, sure, he can shoot it, but you want him attacking with the ball in his hands. Very high upside. still raw and relying on natural talent at this point in his career. Yeah, there's been points in the NBA season where like he's had crazy games where it's like, damn, like you can really see the potential there, right? Potential as a shooter, has good form. Yeah, I could see him being around like a 32% career, like 3-point shooter, all things considered. I don't think it's his like strength. I think it's one of those things that maybe it can kind of like feed off the 3-point shot by doing other aspects within his game. So versatile scorer, yeah, he can score in different ways. Decent, I would say he's a decent ball handler. Yeah, definitely a guy you give the ball to and say, hey, create your own shot. Does a good job on transition. That's really something that could be nice playing with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook in those circumstances. His non-dunk and soft touch finishes around the rim in his scoring package. Strong finisher in transition, potentially be a great off-the-ball cutter in the NBA. Yeah, it would be interesting maybe if he could kind of rely more on like that cutting ability. And really, I guess like a good player comparison for him, now that the more that I think about it and the way you want him to actually be playing, would maybe be like an Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets, because on the Magic, Aaron Gordon put up decent numbers, but it wasn't until he was playing off a good passer in Jokic that he really excelled, right? So has the length and quickness, be an excellent switch defender in the NBA. Yeah, really good NBA body for sure. Weaknesses, game is still raw and unpolished. That's all stuff that comes in time. Very young at this point. That's not a weakness, it's just a fact of the matter. Needs to improve his hands. Struggles around the rim versus bigger and stronger defenders. Once again, that comes in time. Lacks experience, come in time. While the foundation there, he can tighten up his handle and improve as a playmaker. So as you guys, as you Laker fans can see right here, the weakness is that, hey, he's a very young basketball player. So yeah, give him time and everything, and work on developing him, and obviously the sky's the limit. So looking at last NBA season, yeah, the numbers aren't absolutely crazy. He did play 56 games for the Pistons last year, averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds per game. 3-point shot was not great, but yet again, Dwayne Casey was completely misutilizing this guy, trying to make him a spot-up 3-point shooter. I know a lot of you guys probably don't watch Piston games, but they recently signed Trey Lyles, who is much better in that type of role. So it was just a case of, he wasn't a guy that was drafted by Weaver or nothing like that. Did not really fit the system of what they're trying to run here in Detroit, so that's why he's gone. So yeah, per 36 stats might give us a little bit of a better indicator about what potentially he could have become. So 12 points, 6 rebounds, still really doesn't do too much there with that. So yeah, man, pulling up Fanspo real quick here. I do want to go over to the trade thing because I think he's technically still listed on the Nets in this case. Let me shrink this up here real quick for you guys to see here, man. My apologies, some sick edits. Okay, so let's pull up the Nets and we'll pull up the Los Angeles Lakers. Where we at? And obviously it's not gonna be like 1-for-1 trade because they, it was a free agent signing. But Doumbouya, I think TA, I don't know, or TO, I don't know what that stands for, hopefully not turnover. But yeah, man, so we'll put him on the Lakers and we'll try the trade, and it's not going to work because obviously that. But yeah, it actually says the Lakers got worse with Sekou Doumbouya, which is okay, man, because he ain't going to play all that much anyway. But overall speaking, I do think this was a type of move. Let me pull up the Lakers real quick here, man. This was the type of move that was looking more so towards the future of what the Lakers want to do. Even having like Malik Monk, because I don't think Malik Monk's all that old either, is he? Yeah, Malik is only 23, so you got these old players, but you got a future with THT, Malik Monk, like that right there, man, could be like your backcourt. Sekou Doumbouya doing his thing out there. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, that's all I really have for this video. I don't typically do videos about two-way deals, but obviously, man, I like Sekou Doumbouya a lot. I was a bit disappointed that he was no longer going to be on the team of the Detroit Pistons, but I also understand that he was never originally drafted by Weaver, our GM. So, I'd rather have him go to a team that can embrace him and give him a chance to develop correctly. And I really do hope, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you guys are, tagging me on Twitter or Instagram saying, hey, Crispy, remember when the Pistons gave him on Sekou Doumbouya and now he's an all-star like, Chris Middleton was? I really hope that for him, man, because I'm wishing the best for him. He's got good work ethic and everything. So that's all we got for this video. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe to the channel, man. Check out my last video, the Zaire Wade Utah Jazz rebuild was really good. And peace out, my friends.